the what do you call that thing? The thumbnail always looks weird if you don't come on with a good smile or
Yes, that's
something.
right. Count for like the first 3 seconds so that it takes a good snapshot. That's something we
Hey,
learned.
yes. Hey, everyone. Hey to Kimberly's audience, and to the collective. So, Kimberly and I are at it again to talk personal business finances with a little twist to let you all know in the collective what she will be offering you all on a weekly basis starting next week. So, it's super exciting. So we'll just dive right in. The comments should be activated. I know sometimes it acts a little weird and we don't see them when we're live, but we'll both circle back and answer any questions you may have or any comments that we see after we're done. But feel free to post them in there as we go along, and hopefully they will show up and we can answer anything as they go along.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So Kimberly is, I like to call it the millionaire mindset coach. I don't know if that's your official title,
Oh, I love that.
but
I'm here for that.
yes. So we decided it's important to get on again to talk about how your personal and business finances collide, right? Because I think we both genuinely are in a place of feeling you can't really address one without addressing the other, and be successful in the area, especially if you've already launched your business. You really need to address them both in tandem. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I guess let's just start with the first brainstorming question of Kimberly, with business people who've already launched their business. Let's start there. What do you typically see when they come to you as it pertains to their personal financial management?
Ooh, that's a really great question. So, just to get, I feel like this is great because this is like our second time where we've been together. And so I'm going to make sure that I, do a little tooting of the horn so that you guys know I'm legit. Okay.
Yeah, that's important. I always forget an intro anyway. Yeah, let's do
No,
that.
it's
That's kind of
totally
important.
fine. Totally fine. So, I'm an educator by trade. I started off, my husband's also an educator. You're going to see him bantering through here. If you're in my page, you probably already saw him. But we had $76,000 of student loan debt, paid that off in 28 months on a teacher's salary plus additional jobs. So we know what it means to not just like work hard, because we didn't want to do, this is the thing that I think pertains to what you just asked about business owners. We don't want to spend the rest of our life working hard, right? We want to work. There are seasons where, yes, you are going to have to put a little bit more effort in because you're building something, but eventually you want to get to the point where you're able to go, my work is done, and I'm able to kind of like level off. I'm able to have things that are passive. I'm able to, like, we want to work smarter, not harder, but there are seasons of, yes, there's work, there's discipline, all of that like plays a part in it. So that discipline part was for us paying off that $76,000 in 28 months. Once we understood that, it was a lot easier for us to build our savings, to understand, to create like a different flow of what we wanted our lifestyle to be, to create dreams about that. So anyway, when I got into business, that's when I realized that there were so many entrepreneurs who had no clue what was going on in their business finances, and let alone their personal finances. And they do affect each other. A lot of my first clients that I'd worked with came to me and they had their business finances and their home finances mixed together. And they were robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. And I was like, no, we cannot do that. That is a big no. Your tax person is going to come after you. Don't do that. And so that's one of the first things that I have to help these new entrepreneurs understand is how to build like an ecosystem for their business and an ecosystem for their home. There should be no touching of them unless you're paying yourself. That's it. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to touch. And that's a really difficult, like, because you've never built a business before. No one teaches us about personal finances to begin with, let alone how to build a business and building the finances around that. So it really is like teaching people how to interact with their money in a efficient way that is going to give them sustainable results where they are able to actually reach that millionaire milestone. They're able to invest easily. They're able to hire out for their businesses and all that stuff and create people around them a lot easier. So I've worked with clients up to like, I think my client that I just worked with has about 2 million in revenue, which is amazing, but had nothing in their savings.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very real thing.
Yeah. It is. And I see it often when people will come to me initially, they have usually the ones I decide to take on already have flourishing businesses, right? So on the cusp, because they're coming to me for fractional CFO services, that's what I'm looking at.
Mhm.
And it typically doesn't fall into me unveiling the layers of where their personal finances lie until maybe the first session after onboarding, because their business is one thing I'm looking at is, does your business have significant liabilities? Are you profitable? And so in order to pass the test to even become my client, you have to be profitable and with no significant liabilities, right? So I don't particularly look at your personal finances until we have the sessions of strategy. And usually the first one, I can tell in the strategy by how much they're paying themselves in their business, right?
Ooh.
And that's when the layers start to unveil back of how much debt they may have personally. And usually people who are profitable in their business have the mindset already. They just may not know the management piece of it, right? So that's how I think I'm able to skirt by without looking at their personal finances when they come to me for business things, although I'm doing financial strategy. But that's why I think it's important that we pair, because when I do see those things, I'm like, man, to your point, they're running a multi-million-dollar business, but they may have either nothing in savings or $10,000, $12,000 in savings. They haven't even started to entertain the future wealth management piece, and or their student loan debts are still at, they're paying the minimums and they haven't even set up a real plan on how to pay those things off.
Mhm.
So that's why I think it's important. And I know specifically we're going to talk about you going live in the Crushing It Collectively community every Monday. And I know those people in that community will be definitely be of benefit to the value that you'll bring in the personal financial management space, because it's not an area that I touch on in there currently. So I'm excited about what you'll have to offer in the Kick community. And I just want you to start by letting them know, like, what types of content do you provide? What would they expect?
It's so varied. I'm very I love talking about it all, right? The money mindset comes into place when it comes to the personal finances. How do you even start managing your money? What, based on who you are, your characteristics, how you learn. Again, that's the educational side of me coming out. The way that you manage your personal finances is going to look completely different. I was talking to someone earlier today about an app and spreadsheet graveyard. You probably have a ton of things that you've downloaded, that you have on your phone, that you have on your computer, that you have, binders of or whatever, that this is going to be the thing that helps me. But it's the implementation and the accountability. That's the part where things just do not click. And by that, you're going to need some support there. So we're going to talk about, how to keep yourself on target, how to make sure that you are using materials or using resources, using the routines that make sense for your learning style, how to save, how much should you save in your personal finances, and how do you even do that? How do you handle hiccups when you're like on roll and you're doing great and then all of a sudden the car breaks down? How do you handle those situations? How do you do that? Dude, I just went on a rant yesterday about people who say this thing to me where they go, I'm fine, I pay off my credit card every single month, but yet they don't have savings.
Right.
There's a priority issue. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to divulge and talk about, that I'm really going to be going off of the engagement that I get. When what you ask for, I will bring to the table and talk and make sure that your audience is able to get exactly what they need.
Yeah, and I love that you said that. There are two key points. The accountability piece is huge, because you're right. There's so many free resources out there for services, especially pertaining to financial management.
Mhm.
But we usually download them, do nothing with them, or excited initially, maybe plug in everything, and then there's no accountability to stay on top of it. So the accountability of having you in there is a huge, huge, huge thing. And the other thing too is the engagement piece. I want people to know there's nothing to be judged by. There's nothing to be embarrassed over. I tell people all the time in my community, if I have not heard it, done it, seen it, it's all fine, and it's no judgment. And you can never repair it and then come to us to a place where you're not. We hear that, oh, I'm going to get it to this level, or I'm going to get it here, and then I'll work with you. It's not going to happen. And that's okay. And that's what I think people miss the opportunity the most is they see people like us and they want to engage and they want to ask the tough questions, but they're embarrassed and they're afraid of vocalizing it in a group setting and all those things. When it's never fails that when the person does stand up and ask the scary question, there's several other people in the room that's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you asked that question.
Never fails. And you have nothing to lose by learning something new. Right? Learning a new way to approach a situation that everyone has money, right? Everyone has who has a 9-to-5, who has a business, there is money going through your hands. You're not going to know everything. And so we have to work together to be able to learn something new about how to manage it, how to make the best of it, how to make the best decisions for our future wealth and our growth. And so that's really what this is, a community where we can learn together. And like you said, no judgment whatsoever, because yes, I have heard it all too.
Yes.
We've seen it. We know it's there. So it's better for you to just show up and say, hey, this is what I need, and get your answer so that you can get to a place where you're able to say, oh, I conquered this finally.
Yeah.
That's what we want it to be, a safe place.
Yeah, and there's no perfect time than now. We're wrapping up the year. You're about to start making new financial management, New Year's resolutions in January. You're going to need the accountability to still do it in March. So why not start now?
Do you have this that happens for you? Because this happens for me every December into January. That's when I get a nice little uptick of people who are like, okay, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it never fails.
Yeah, that's how it is. And for me, it's mostly, which I guess I should do an introduction, but for me, it's mostly in the cleanup phase, right? Mm-hmm. Now is like the rush to get books cleaned up because you've procrastinated on getting services all year. And now you want to come to us to have us clean everything up for a whole year so you can be ready for taxes in January. And it's like, oh my God, not only is that horrible practice for your regular business finances, but you don't realize how much tax liabilities that you could be taking advantage of to be more productive and spend in different ways in your business had you taken the initiative before that. But
make your life so much easier. Oh my goodness.
It really will. And then when they finally get over the judgment or the approach and just come to us, I mean, they literally, their shoulders come down and it's so much easier. It's like, not only is the weight lifted, but you have a partner and a resource that's a non-judgmental resource at your fingertips to just help you. You have no idea like what that alone does for your financial management. Like that's a complete shift right there.
Yeah. That right there is like one of my favorite like money mindset like shifts that my clients go through. So they're so used to, like, I have calls or text messages where they're like, Kim, I know it's been a couple of weeks, since we last met because I haven't needed you, but I just want to let you know, like, I'm kind of scared. And I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like nothing's happening. And I'm like, what do you mean nothing's happening? And they're like, the bills are all paid and there's money going into my savings account. And I just booked a trip. And I'm just like, I'm really scared that the other shoe is going to drop. And I'm like, honey, no, this is called peace. You just have never experienced it before.
That part.
You're like so used to putting out fires all the time with your finances and your personal and your business. When you finally have people around you who are helping you get rid of those fires.
Yeah.
I get it. It's scary, but I promise you it's really great on the side.
It really is. It really is. I mean, don't do as I do, but I rarely check my mailbox. I'm so bad about checking my mailbox, right? Because I have not most, everything's on auto pay. And then I do like a reconciliation every month anyway. So everything's on auto pay. I may check my mailbox once every 2 weeks, and I have a friend that drives her crazy, and she's like, when is the last time you checked the mailbox? I'm like, oh, I should. I mean, the mail guy, he'll literally start leaving it on my door. He probably hates me, but I feel like it's just the feeling, because you better believe when I had credit card debt and I wasn't sure how I was going to pay the next bill, I was in the mailbox every day, every other day, because I needed to know what I had to pay and who was I going to rob to pay this bill and those things. So I've been there, and it's such a great feeling to be like, all right, I'll get to the mailbox when I get to it, because everything's on auto pay and I'm doing a reconciliation. So I know the amounts are valid and I know the money's there. So
Most
it
beautiful
is.
thing in the
It's
world.
very, very peaceful.
To not worry. You're like, oh yeah, like I just got something. We just bought a dishwasher this past week, and so the rest of the balance went through because they wouldn't let us pay in cash. I was like, and they're like, you have to do it, and I'm like, whatever. So the rest of it went through, and it was like, hefty amount, and I was like, okay, like there's no like, it's all good. I know it's there. And, like there's just something about knowing that your household is taken care of, and you don't have to worry about it. There's a piece on the side, y'all. I'll tell you a cautionary tale, right? So you're talking about the credit card and like personal finances. Mine is on the tax CPA. Like I didn't have a CPA for a very long time in my business for the first 3 years. And I did a boutique, which was goods and services, and that is a whole nother product space. No, thank you. But I didn't know that I needed to have someone to help me with the taxes. I could handle the actual day-to-day stuff. I was paying myself. But when it came to making sure that I had something for taxes and stuff, I had no clue about estimated taxes, about quarterlies, about making sure that I like reconcile. No clue, because nobody was there. I didn't have someone there. So lo and behold, my first year into doing this business that I moved into, I had an $8,000 bill from the IRS. Now, you want to talk about being scared of going to the mailbox for that year, because it just kept going. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I immediately was like, I need a CPA. I need someone to help me because I have no idea what to do. And it turned out to be a whopping almost $15,000. But thanks to our personal and like the way that we manage things, we were able to pay for it all in cash, right? But now I know, having a CPA, having someone who has a tax strategist that is in my back pocket that belongs to KG Financial to help me and that give me that resource, along with the understanding of my personal finances, this tax season is going to be amazing.
Yes, it feels so great. It feels so great. So how can people outside of the Kick community get in touch with you?
Get in touch with me, y'all. Goodness, I'm all over the place. So I'm on Facebook at Kimberly Graham Financial Coach, or Kimberly Graham. That's either my business page or my regular page. And from there, you're going to be able to get a lot of information. I feel like every post has some type of way that you can connect with me. So I'm on socials, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. So anytime that you want to connect with me, it's once you find my name, just get in my DMs and have a conversation. I'm an open book.
Awesome. So guys, let me tell you what I do and who I am for you guys in Kimberly's community. I am Kellé. I am a fractional CFO. I help small business owners know how to learn the story behind their numbers so they can strategically spend in their business and drive up profits, even if they don't want anything to do with the numbers. So it's an awesome space. I have a membership called Crushing It Collectively, which Kimberly is a part of the community, along with almost 20 other people and business owners. And to learn more about that, you can go to www.commaswithkellé.com. That's commas with a K, you see, and Kellé with an E. And I'm at Commas with Kellé on all social media platforms. Dope. Awesome. So you guys find Kimberly on all social media platforms. You guys in Crushing It Collectively will see her on Mondays.
11
Mondays. What time did we say?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Bright and early, so you can get your week started off right with an awesome millionaire mindset coach.
Get your coffee and bring your questions.
Yes. All right, guys. Any other questions? Feel free to drop them in the comments or DM us, and we'll see you till next time. Bye.
Bye.